I can make lunch whenever I want. You're never stuck to working on one type of product. So for the most part, us designers, we do get paid pretty well. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those who are new, my name is Linda and I'm a product designer from Toronto. Since we did a video on all the things I hate about being a UX designer, it only makes sense to do a video on the things that I love. So here are the 15 things that I love about being a UX product designer. Number 1 is the combo of problem solving and creativity. So this is actually one of the biggest reasons why I chose UX UI design, and it's because I'm able to apply both my skill sets into this job. For those who don't know, I do have a background in bio and psych, also a background in fashion. So I can kind of take what I learned and apply it to the job that I have now. So I just really love that I can use those skills, they don't go to waste, and it's just kind of the best of both worlds. Number 2 is meeting a lot of people, and a lot of great people, I will say. Ever since coming into this industry and just working in the field, I've noticed I've met such different types of people who are just so smart, genuine, and really good at what they do. And I think a big part of that is because of the field itself, where it's very inclusive. There's no rule or standard of who can and who can't become a designer. You know, with boot camps and different education systems and programs, I think it naturally brings in a lot of different people with different skill sets, different backgrounds. Like, even like me, I came from science and fashion, so obviously I don't have a traditional design background, and I think because of that, I've been able to meet such great people, which is why I'm able to create these deeper connections with these people because of our differences and also our similarities. Number 3 is the community. So I think this is a really big one where I've not seen in other industries, I guess outside of tech. And I think that the design community in itself is super supporting and open. I feel like everyone is so nice and want to help others who are trying to pursue this career. There's so many Slack groups, Discord groups, Facebook groups, just so many different resources out there that are also free that helps designers grow. And another thing is that there is that community aspect even in my job. So currently we do have a community, a product design community, where we might host certain events, meetings, or do presentations to help each other learn and grow. I think anywhere I look, whether it's internally at my job or externally, I always feel included within the design industry, and I think it's because of the strong community that we have. Number 4 is flexible work hours. As a traditional job, like a 9-to-5 job, you are working the whole 7 to 8 hours minus your lunch. But the thing is, at least for me, I've never really had to work a full 7 to 8 hours unless, of course, I was on a project that had a very tight deadline. But for the most part, I'm very good with allocating my time properly, having enough time for myself, and if I need to go to the gym in the morning, I can do that. No one is like on my ass about starting right at 9, or if I need to go do some errands or just like have appointments during the afternoon, I can just leave and come back. Either way, no one is micromanaging you to make sure you're fully working the 9 to 5 hours. Anything, you know, we're adults and they trust you. So if you need to take a couple hours out of your day to do something else, you can do that as long as you're putting that into another day or evening or whenever it's possible. I feel like at least where I work, as long as we get our job done, the work done, then that's all that matters. Number 5 is remote work. This one I am a big fan of. I've always been a big fan of, even when I was transitioning into UX design. I just feel like, you know, with nowadays, with the pandemic and everything that's happening, it has forced us to go into remote work. Being at home, I'm a bit more productive, not as much distractions. I can make lunch whenever I want. I can kind of chill when I want to. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I'm working like in an office, I feel a bit pressured to be always doing work at my desk or pretend like I'm doing work, and I'm scared that someone's gonna be watching over me. But with remote work, you have none of that. No one is watching over you. So you can literally do whatever you want, whenever you want, as long as you get your work done. So in that sense, I love remote work, and I just have been appreciating it so much nowadays. Obviously, with pandemic, it's a little bit hard being cooped up inside all day, but I definitely try to take breaks when I need to as well. Number 6 is cool coworkers. I mean, I think with any job, you want to be able to get along with your coworkers and be able to work with them well. Number 7 is the perks and benefits. Who doesn't love this, obviously? And I think it's a lot more common in tech companies where we have these perks and benefits. It's kind of more included in our work package. And for me personally, I love that we can wear whatever we want. I'm someone who likes to dress nicely, so I obviously buy clothes that I like to wear on a daily basis, and being able to use that towards, my Monday to Friday job is a great way to kind of express myself. Another thing that I love would be we get free lunches. Obviously, it being remote work now, we don't really get that anymore, but when I used to be in the office, we get free lunches and they'd be actually good because we usually pick them, or sometimes there's like a cafeteria and just a bunch of good food there. So definitely miss that. Another big perk is having Friday half days when it's like a long weekend. There are definitely a lot of perks that I've not mentioned, but it's a great addition to everything else that comes with the job. Number 8 is being immersed in a young and thriving industry. I think because UX UI design in itself, the field is still relatively new, this naturally brings in a younger crowd, especially because it's so popular right now. I don't think it's a bad thing because for me personally, I gravitate towards people who are obviously a bit closer in age with similarities and, interests in that sense. And it's just a lot easier to create those meaningful relationships beyond just work relationships. So I think I really do appreciate that. I'm not saying old people can't be UX designers. That's not where I'm getting at here. And on the note of it being a newer industry, because of this means that there's just a lot more growing to do within the industry and within the field, and that brings a lot more opportunities for us designers. And I think that gets me really excited and motivated to keep doing what I'm doing and be able to make those differences in the world. Number 9 is the flexibility to work in different industries. So I think this is a really awesome one where you're never stuck to working on one type of product. You can literally explore 1, 2, or even 10 different industries if you wanted to really figure out what you enjoy and like. Comparing it to a traditional job like a lawyer or a doctor, you're literally in one industry, I would say. Like, you're only doing one thing for the rest of your life. But as a designer, that's not really the case. Even though, we are UX UI designers and that doesn't really change, the product that we actually work on can change depending on the company that we work for. And having that flexibility and option to do that in itself is really awesome. Number 10 is having high level of autonomy. This wouldn't only apply if you were a entry-level junior designer because you are new and you are still learning, so you need some guidance to grow. But for someone who's more mid-level and higher, you do have more of that autonomy and that freedom to do things the way that you want to and you think is the right way, without no one really telling you what to do and kind of like telling you no. So that's something that I've recently really appreciated and really enjoy as well. It allows me to take that charge and leadership of a project and just kind of run with it the way I want to. Obviously, I still love being able to like bounce ideas from other designers and get that support when I need to, but for the most part, I think it's great that I have that power to kind of dictate how the project will go and really use my skill set to my advantage. Number 11 is making a difference in the world. I'm specifically talking about shipping products and features that touch and impact many people. So for me personally, I always grew up wanting to make a difference in the world, whether it was small or big. And that's also why I wanted to become a doctor in the first place, because obviously as a doctor, you are physically making a difference. But because I couldn't commit to that, this was like my next choice. This is more of a different impact, I would say. I think it's really cool that we're able to help users more digitally through their experiences touching products or like using something that is more of a daily habit for them. And I think that in itself is something that I love contributing to and working towards to help those people, whether it's older people, younger people, children, and stuff like that. There's just so many different demographics that we can touch upon, and having that choice to work on different things to help others is what really makes me happy and why I'm still here. Number 12 is the option to choose what we specialize in. I know, as a UX product designer, that's kind of our title, and we do end-to-end design from like research, discovery, brainstorming, ideation, designing, wireframing, like all that jazz from start to finish. But if you wanted to specialize in something a bit more specific, you have that option as a designer. I know it's really encouraged that we as product designers are more like T-shaped designers, where we kind of cover it across the whole board. But if you end up liking one part of the design process more than another, again, we have the option to explore that. So if you want to become a service designer, UX research, there's just so many options out there within product design that we can go for. And I think that in itself is a really good thing to have, especially for those who don't want to be more of a generalist and they want to just hone down on one skill. We have that choice as well. Number 13 is the endless amount of learning and growth. I think within our field, because it's always changing, trends are always changing, new trends, old trends that come back, and because the field is pretty new itself, there's just so much room for growth and just always learning. Like, none of us are done learning as designers. Even if you get to becoming a design lead or even director level, because our industry is constantly evolving and changing, that naturally leads us to need to learn those changes and adapt to those changes as well. So I think obviously sometimes it does get tiring having to always like be on the go and always kind of like looking out what's new. But at the end of the day, as humans, we kind of crave to learn and grow, and we can definitely get that within our job. Number 14 is the opportunities outside of being a designer. So I think this is a really important one, where even if you are a UX product designer, you're not stuck to just being that at a job, like a 9-to-5 job. You can turn that into being a freelancer and going on your own. You can turn it into just creating your own business and like having your own startup as a designer, and we may create an agency. There's just so many options out there. For me personally, I have my YouTube channel. I also run my own community, and those all lead back to me being a designer. And I think having that option is just so crucial in just the growth that we want to see in ourselves. For me personally, I'm always striving to grow as, a person and even a designer, and I think having that option to go outside of my job is what keeps me going and alive and creating really good quality work. Last but not least, number 15 is the pay. So for the most part, us designers, we do get paid pretty well. Obviously, if you're negotiating well, you're picking the right company, you know your worth, then you will get paid well. If you're starting out, then sometimes obviously the pay is a bit lower, but the thing is, you can increase that pay gradually, very fast as you grow as a designer. So for me personally, this is something that has made a really big difference in my life, because growing up, I never had a lot. My parents always used to work so much to provide for me and 3 other kids. So we have a pretty big family and a lot to feed. So growing up, I never really had all of that, and just having that now and being able to provide for my family now, it's been the most rewarding feeling, I would say, from this job. Being able to just buy them food and just buy whatever I want for them and like nice gifts and all of that, that's something what I've dreamed of doing, and the fact that I can do it through the job that I love is even better. And another thing is, being able to afford this condo with my boyfriend. That's something I never thought I'd be able to do in the last 2 years. A lot has happened, and I'm just so grateful for my job, and I just wouldn't have it any other way. And obviously money doesn't always bring happiness, but it definitely helps. And I think it also motivates me to work more, work harder, and do more, so I can have that financial freedom in the future. And I think just being a designer and having this job will definitely get me there someday. Now, I could probably go on all the things that I love about being a designer, but you guys probably get the point, so I'll stop here. But seriously, I know I said a lot of things that I hate about being a designer in my last video, but truly, I would not trade this job for anything else other than being my own boss. But that'll come later. Either way, I just want to let you guys know that the good really outweighs the bad. And I'm just so thankful for what this job has brought into my life, and I can't wait to see what else I can achieve with it. And I just want to say, if you're someone who's contemplating of becoming a UX designer and any of these 15 things that I love resonate with you in any way, this is your sign to start, so go do it. But I understand if you're someone who needs to know the good and the bad and you haven't checked out this video over here, definitely check that out because I talk about all the things that I hate, and maybe that will help you guys choose what you want to do. So until my next video, I will see you guys soon, and thanks for listening. Bye!